Before we go into tab types, I want to backtrack a little bit and tell you about how to copy formatting. And if I go to these titles, and what I want to do is I want to make each of these titles overview, workshops, accommodations, fees, and then down here proposed winter programming. I want to make these titles all look the same. So I'm going to want to make them bold. I'm going to want to make them a little bit larger so that they can be seen better as a title. That's too large. And I want to make my text a dark green, like the title up here. I lost my coloring. So if I want to make this the same, I'm going to have to go down here and I'm going to have to remember this is 14 points, so I'm going to have to make this one the same. The easier way to do this is if you click on the one that you want, the format that you want, you click on this Format Painter up here in the clipboard group, and I go down here and I highlight this area, the area that I want to change, and I click on that. See how your format changes? Well, that's really nice, but now I'm going to have to do that again to make the rest of them. What you can do is when you're in that group where you like it, double click on Format Painter. This way your formatting will stay the same, and I can keep clicking everywhere I want the format to stay the same. So now my formatting will stay the same until I unclick the Format Painter. Now I am off of Format Painter. Now let's get back to the tabs. You can set up a right tab, a left tab, a center tab, and the left tab you already experienced. What it does is it aligns everything on the left. If I wanted, the easy way to set up a left tab is you go up here to the upper left-hand corner where it says your tabs. You scroll through here, you keep clicking on this until you see it say left tab. Go over to your ruler, click on your ruler. Now look at what it does. It sets up a left tab. So that is only for the area that I have highlighted. So if I click on my tab here, I can put in what I want. Oops, I lost it. Now I'm on there. Let me set my left tab again. To remove it, all you do is unclick it. So if I want a left tab right here, you can also pick up your tab and drag it off the screen in order to get rid of it. But I have a left tab, so if I press my tab button and I type in whatever I want. A center tab, if I want a center tab, and you scroll over this to where you see the center, if I send a center tab here, and I press tab, and I type per pound, so the pricing is per pound. If I look at this tab, it centers all text right and left of that tab equally. Then if I go over here and do a left tab, I don't want to left, I'm going to drag that off the screen. But what I want here is a right tab, and I'm going to put it over here. So if I press tab again, they are $1.25, or maybe 75 cents a pound right now. They're on a good sale. So if I press enter, so long as I have those tabs still set, I can go pears, and they're per pound. And the pears are a lot more expensive. Let's say they're $3.25 a pound. That's how you can set up a chart using tabs when you're starting from scratch. If you want to do that same thing to this group right here of proposed winter scheduling, for me the easiest way is I go to the paragraph group and I open it up, I go to tabs, and I want to set a tab maybe at 4.5. And it's going to be a left tab so that all my dollars are aligned on the left, and I'm going to set click OK. Now it didn't do it, did it? What I have to do is I have to go to the text that I want moved over, and I click on that, and I'll click on each one of these rows so it knows what it is that I want moved over. what text. Now on this is really nice, but if you have a long list, your eyes tend to wander, and you may look at this and you'll say, okay, I've got to follow this across to here. You know, on table of contents, how you can put dots or you can put lines between each of these, between the G here and the price. Let me show you how to do that. Let's go back over to our tabs, and there's our tabs. And I can choose, you have to select this tab that you want to modify. Choose your leader. Those are called leaders. I'm going to make this a dot leader. You can also make it a dash or an underline. I'm going to click set and click OK. Now I have dots between here. It's a lot easier to read. You can do these. This is real nice for your table of contents for papers that you're creating. Now, if there's some formatting you want to get rid of, say you want to go back to the default setting for Word, I'm going to highlight this area that I want to undo the formatting. Go up here to your font group. This eraser right here on the top row, the last item, is to clear your formatting. It goes back, your text goes back to the original default formatting on Word, which if you look up here in your font group, it's Calibri 11 point, and it's left aligned. You have 1.5 spacing between the lines and 10 points below the line. So that's your default. So when you're asked on your test, you can go right here to Word and you can look, and your default formatting is Calibri. If I want to create bullets for this group, or I'm going to start with a numbering. I want to number these packages so that you know how you can say, I want package number 3, 4, and 5. All I do is highlight the entire area I want to number. I can click right up here in the paragraph group under numbering and click numbering. If I want to change the appearance of the numbers, I click directly on the numbers, and you notice here, the only thing highlighted is the numbers. And what I can do here is I'll go up here to the numbering and go down here to the set numbering value, and I can change the number starting with, and I want it starting with 3, 4, whatever I want to change the numbering to. I'm going to leave it at 1. Click OK. Then I want these bold. Whoops. I want the numbering. I want these bold, and I want them larger. And say I want them a different color. I want that green that we've been using up above. That's how you're going to change your numbering. If I want this whole area, what I'm going to do, go back up here, and I want to show you the difference between underline and borders. Say I want to underline this word. All I do is click on underline. Remember, the shortcut is Control-U. Now, on most memos, you have a line under the information, the introduction area, and the bulk of your document. So if I go to the last line that I want before a border, and I am going to go over here under the paragraph group, click on this, the down arrow, and I want a bottom border. See the difference between the underline and the border. The underline is the text only. The border is border to borders, a line. Now, if I want to control how that border looks, and I had changed this earlier for a document that I was doing, and I want to change it back to the automatic color, and I want to change it back to quarter point. So I can show you. If you want to change the color, and I think your independent challenge tells you to do one of the green colors, well, how do you tell what color is what? As you scroll over your colors, you'll get a quick tip here that says this one is olive green, accent 3, darker 50%. So as you scroll over, this is going to tell your color. You want it wider. Say I want it 3 point, but it did not change this line here. What you have to do once you have your formatting changed, click this line again. Now click OK, and it will be the formatting that you want. If I want an area shaded, what I'm going to do, if I want a border around this whole box here, I do exactly the same thing. I want outside borders around the whole box. And it's going to do two different because it's two different paragraphs. If I want this box shaded, I'm going to go back to the same option. I'm going to go to Borders and Shading, select Shading, and here where the fill says no color, say I want to color it with a light green so it looks accented. That's where you're going to shade it. The difference between shading a box and highlighting text, if I want to just highlight certain text, you go over here to the font group and say I want it yellow, say I want it green, whatever color. That's the difference between highlighting a box and shading. If you highlight your whole page, everything on the page, your borders are going to go around the whole page. Whoops, what I'm doing wrong here is I didn't click here to select there. And it's going to select everything on the page. If I had done the whole page up here, it would have bordered the whole page. Now, how do you insert clip art? Most of you probably already know, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to undo this last thing so I can get a free space here. Inserting clip art is nice and easy. If I click on Insert Clip Art, and since this is about the Moose Lodge, I had already typed Moose. If you have your internet active, you can click on this box right here, the check box, and it will go out and check the internet for you. You can check the types of files. I don't want video in this case. I don't want audio. All I want is pictures. So once I do the illustrations and photographs, I click Go. And then I scroll down and I pick out whichever picture I want. Well, I want this picture of the moose and it looks like two moose, mice, moose, whatever they're called. In order to control the size and the position of this, all you do is click on the picture and see these where you have boxes and around here. I drag this to make it smaller. I can also turn it. You grab this green box, the green circle, and you can turn it if you don't quite want it straight. I want to move it over. Well, I cannot. I'm clicking on it, trying to move it. It's not going to move. You have to right click on it, or your picture toolbar is now here. Go over here to the Arrange and click on your Wrap Text. Make it tight. Click on Tight. Now I can move the picture wherever I want it. If I want it centered, if I want it higher on the page, that's all you have to do. Then if I want this set as a watermark, I can do that. So whatever, I can go back here to my Format Picture, and I can go to Picture Color, Presets, and on the top row, this middle item is a washout. And what that does is, once I close this, is it makes it real light. And what you have to do at this point is go over here, send this backwards so it is behind everything, and you can create a watermark out of it. The easier way to create a watermark is go to your Page Layout tab, right here towards the center under Page Background, create a watermark. And if you click on the watermark, you can do a custom watermark. You can select a picture from you're going to have to save it to your computer somewhere, or you can make a text watermark. Like say if I want a text watermark, I put whatever text I want in here. Say I want to put sample. And then I apply it. When it's gone, you see here where it says sample in the background. I'm going to drag this picture over so you can see where it says sample in the background. That's your watermark that you're going to need to create for your flyers too. So this is all with Unit B. So go ahead and do the rest of your work for Unit B. And then be prepared when we come in on Wednesday. We're going to have a lot more group work to do to get that flyer done this next week. So I will see you on Wednesday.